This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
The clock has struck prime time on Ndtv-Hindu. This is Headlines Now. Good evening, I'm Evelyn Matthew. In the next 30 minutes, there's every reason for you to keep that remote aside and your eyes glued to the telly, because this evening we've got you the perfect mix of power play in politics. Shabir Ahmed joins us with the Glee Club at the Congress camp, thanks to a cheerleader who's come from Delhi, who's raised many spirits ahead of the big battle in 2011. Meanwhile, Ndtv-Hindu's investigative reporter Sai Manish played visitor today, but filth and dirt was all that he met with. He will join us in a very short while with interesting details from a hostel in the corner of our city. My colleague Ramanathan, who's just back from Vellore, brings you a disappointing revelation which may just take the ground from beneath your feet away. He is flanked by two very special guests, an environmental activist and the president of the Lorry Owners Association. We'll also be bringing you that discussion in detail. All of that in the next half an hour, but first, a peek into our top stories tonight. A hopeful chief of the state's Congress Commission gears up his Tamil brethren for 2011, gives Tamil Nadu a pat on the back for the work so far.
With the active cooperation of the DMK, this alliance will bag more votes and more seats.
An angry Amma lashes out at the ruling party for attacks on her party men. If it continues, she threatens action. The Pala riverbed is in the state of disappearing soon as extensive illegal sand quarrying is caught on cameras. A special
Locals
report.
say that illegal quarrying of sand, this valuable sand, has been happening for over 7 years now.
In the tug of war for the waters of Kaveri, farmers from the rice bowl of the state are forced to a cultivation of compromise. Ndtv-Hindu exposes dismal conditions of hostels for backward classes, but the minister promises to look into it.
You're going to enter one typical room, and in this particular room that you're going to see, there are going to be around 12 people who stay in this room.
And after 2 rounds, the talks between the management of the Neyveli Lignite Corporation and contract workers failed, spelling power crisis for the state. Let's also take a look at what's making news in the rest of the country. 12 days to go before the Commonwealth Games begin, and an overbridge construction meant for athletes comes crumbling down. In a major embarrassment for India, the Games Federation bosses reads out the Riot Act, but the government puts up a brave face. While the BJP says reaching out to the separatists was a personal and not a collective decision, CPM confirms everyone was on board. Floods caused devastation in Uttarakhand. 76 people died, several are still missing. And the Sensex crosses 20,000 while the Nifty crosses 6,000 mark for the first time since January 2008. On to our top story. The Congress in the state had a visitor today who gave them the much-needed boost after the recent spate of mudslinging we've been seeing. The minister in charge of the Tamil Nadu Congress Committee, Ghulam Nabi Azad, attended the party's executive meeting today in the state. He called out to his party workers to gear up in full swing for the 2011 polls ahead. He has told several Congress leaders in the state that their preparations ahead at this point will guarantee more votes and more seats. He added that unprecedented welfare measures have also been carried out by both the state of Tamil Nadu and the central government.
Now barely 5 months are left for the assembly election. So we have to strengthen our party. And I'm sure with the active cooperation of the DMK, this alliance will bag more votes and more seats than we begged last time, because a lot of work has been done.
And for a perspective into that top story, our political reporter Shabir Ahmed now joins us live from our Hindu studios. Shabir, Mr. Azad seems to have set the clock ticking with that pat on the back for the Congress party. What's the mood among the party workers at the moment?
Well, one thing is clear that Ghulam Nabi Azad has set an agenda for the Congress party how to approach towards the 2011 assembly elections, because he is clear and he made it very clear that the Congress party should bank on the welfare measures offered by both the central and the state governments. In fact, he is very happy with the way the ties between the ruling DMK and the Congress is there in the state, and he made it very clear that once again he reiterated that the relationship between the DMK and the Congress is intact, and it will continue for the next assembly elections. And he has also said that definitely the Congress and the ruling combined will once again bounce back to power and will with more seats and more votes. So that is something which he has made it very clear today, and we will have to wait and see how the Congress leadership and the workers in the state react to that, Evelyn.
Well, the spirit's clearly high at the Congress camp. But thanks very much indeed, Shabir, for joining us with those details. Now on to another story. The Constitution of India guarantees them special care. Politicians promise them preferential treatment in education and employment with the ulterior motive of winning their votes. But how are poor backward class students from rural areas treated when they visit the big city that Chennai is to them to pursue their dream of education? Ndtv-Hindu's investigative reporter Sai Manish went on a reality check at a hostel in Mylapore for the backward classes. And was it rosy? No, it resembled animal shelters. In fact, they were crowded, unhygienic and neglected. Take a look.
The backward caste hostel in Mylapore. 100 students from poor families, all belonging to backward castes, stay here. Inside, it's no better than a hellhole. I'm standing here inside the government hostel for boys. Boys come here from all the districts of Tamil Nadu, from different villages in Tamil Nadu to pursue their dreams and education here in Chennai. Now I'm inside one of these hostels. As you can see, it's 3 in the afternoon and it already looks like it's midnight. It's almost dark inside. Now what you're going to see right now is going to shock you a bit, because I'm going to enter one typical room, and in this particular room that you're going to see, there are going to be around 12 people who stay in this room. There are 12 people who stay in this room. It's already 3 in the afternoon, but you can see how dark, dingy it is. It's quite humid as well. I've been here 5 minutes, but I'm already perspiring. Here is the first room. Here's the second room. And imagine 12 people staying in this room. Apart from that, of course, the kitchen, which usually should serve as a place for cooking, has been converted into another room. So barely a room of something around 200 square feet, 200 to 250 square feet, housing 12 students. A typical picture of apathy here, without the government even realizing the conditions in which these students are pursuing their education. 12 students in a space not even fit for 2. Wait, there's more. The makeshift kitchen is a multi-purpose garbage dump. Food is cooked right next to the garbage, and with the same water that's used for washing clothes and bathing, because this water tank has been abandoned for 3 years.
Kitchen alla idhe maadhiri idella maatram ivolda retired avirukka kitchen vande gaali panna building ipdina irukum
ella kashtapadi ella padikkanungra oru nokathila inga indella vayasu kaalam kadanda kuda vandu inga vandu padikiranga ஏதோ கவர்மெண்ட் ஃப்ரீ ஹாஸ்டல் கிடைக்கிறதுனால வந்து படிக்கிறாங்க. ஒரு ரூமில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 13-14 பேர் போடுறாங்க.
எங்கள் ஹாஸ்டலில் வந்து ப்ராப்ளமே முக்கியமான தண்ணி, சாப்பாடு ப்ராப்ளம். அதில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மெட்ரோ வாட்டர்லாம் கிடையாது எங்கள் ஹாஸ்டலில். நாங்கள் குளிக்கிற தண்ணியாக தான் வந்து சாப்பாடு யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க.
Today, students like Selvam have finally decided to speak up. For 2 years, he has been living in this asbestos roof room on the terrace with 11 others. As we probe further, the warden appears and emboldened students start posing tough questions to him.
Only I joined in this hostel only 1 week only. Students also. It is not fit for breathing.
Absolutely. We were there downstairs.
First time I met students. This first to இங்கே யாரெல்லாம் வசிக்க முடியும் அப்படிங்கிறது. That's what. Yeah. ஸ்டூடண்ட் கிட்ட நான் பேசிக்கிறேன். யாரும் வசிக்க முடியாது. நான் மட்டும் 5-6 வருஷமா ட்ரை தான் பண்ணி. இல்ல நான் இப்ப தான் வந்துட்டேன். போயிட்டே இருக்கேன். நான் இப்ப தான் வந்திருக்கேன். ஒரு விடிய காலமே கிடையாது. எனக்கே பிடிக்கல இங்க ஹாஸ்டலுக்குள்ள வந்து உட்கார்ந்து. நான் ஓட்டே ஹாஸ்டல் கேட்டுக்கேன் தெரியுமா? என்ன ஓட்டே ஹாஸ்டல்ல மாத்தி விடுங்க அப்படிங்க. இங்க யாரா இன்சார்ஜ் போடுங்க. நீங்க மட்டும் ஓடிட்டீங்க. இல்ல நான் ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கேன். நான் முதல் வார்த்தை இங்க வந்த உடனே ருக்மணி மேடம் கிட்ட கேட்டேன். ஃபோன் பண்ணி கேளுங்க. என்ன மேடம் அது ஹாஸ்டலா மேடம் எப்படி மேடம் ரன் பண்ணு? ஆமாங்க நாம கீழே போய் பாருங்க எத்தனை பெருச்சாலி ஓடுன்னு பாருங்க. அது கூட தானே வசிச்சு நிக்கிறேன். எத்தனை பெருச்சாலி ஓடுன்னு சார் அந்த 7th ரூம்ல போய் நிக்கிறேன். ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் நின்னு பாருங்க சார். அப்படியே வேர்த்து கொட்டுங்க. அந்த மேல போய் பாருங்க எப்படி இருக்குன்னு. கீழே போயிட்டு சாப்பாடு வர மாட்டேங்குது. நைட் வந்து 8 மணில சாப்பாடு சாப்பாடு உப்பு தண்ணி தான் சார் செய்யறாங்க.
மாசமா அந்த மெட்ரோ டேங்க் என்ன ஆச்சு கேட்டாங்க. இன்னும் ஒரு வாரத்துக்கு
நாத்தடி சார் அங்க கீழே
இல்ல சாம்பார்ல தண்ணிமே வச்சா எப்படி சார் ரசம் இருக்கு. 1.5 கிலோ பருப்பு தரீங்க.
அவரே சொல்றீங்க. சொன்னா நீங்க நாங்க எத்தனை வருஷம் 10 வருஷமா இங்க வரைக்கும் வந்து வேலை செய்யறேன். அந்த 5 வருஷம் ஆச்சு. நான் வந்து ஒரு மாசம் ஆகுது. நான் இந்த ஸ்டெப்ஸ் ஆவது எடுக்கிறேன்னு சொல்றேன்ல. நீங்க எழுதி கொடுங்க. எழுதினா எனக்கே இங்க வந்து வேலை செய்யறது பிடிக்கல. ஓபனா இதோட ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் யாரும் சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. எந்த வடன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க.
Yes, you heard that right. Even the warden admits this place is a living hell.
எனக்கே இங்க வந்து வேலை செய்யறது பிடிக்கல. ஓபனா இதோட ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் யாரும் சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க.
இந்த சீட்டில் வெயில் டைமில் ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் கூட இருக்க முடியல எங்களால். இந்த ஃபேன் வந்து ஓடவே மாட்டேங்குது. சின்ன லைட் இருக்குது. இந்த சின்ன லைட் நாங்கள் வாடகை எடுத்துன்னு சொல்லி பார்த்துட்டோம். பண்ணுறேன் தான்ட்டார், ஆனால் பண்ண மாட்டேன்ட்டார்.
These students have come from villages all across Tamil Nadu to pursue their education. But living in conditions that are no better than a rat-infested barn is not what they expected. Perhaps the biggest lesson they will learn is not to trust politicians. Sai Manish for Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, meanwhile, the Minister for Backward Classes in Tamil Nadu has told Ndtv-Hindu that he has sought a detailed report from the Secretary in the Backward Class Department over the functioning of that particular hostel. But he maintained that the backward class hostels are given adequate funds and that any irregularities in their functioning will be dealt with severely. Responding to our queries, the minister declined to comment on camera but has reiterated that he would speak after arming himself with the response from his officers to this report by Ndtv-Hindu. And joining us live from our newsrooms is our investigative reporter Sai Manish. Sai Manish, you met the main person in concern here today, the minister in charge. How did he really react to all of this? Are such deplorable conditions the same in most corners of the city?
Well, yes, that's right, Evelyn. He was in a bit of the shock since he was not aware of the situation, although he was briefed about the situation in the hostel in Nandanam, which is going to be shifted in any case in Saidapetam, I beg your pardon, which is going to be shifted in any case by the 1st of October. However, he said that he would seek a report from the officers below him, seek a report by tomorrow morning, and of course act on these complaints. Not only is it about unhygienic food, it's not about unhygienic living conditions or even the animal-like existence that most of these backward class students lead in these hostels. It's more about the psychological impact of these students who come all the way from rural areas with everything to gain and having to go such psychological trauma, staying in these conditions, and of course being the subject of corruption by various officials, the benefits of development not trickling onto them. Certainly the minister would want to take action. That's tomorrow morning. Evelyn.
Well, clearly a shameful picture for a city which boasts of many facilities and technology. Thanks very much indeed, Manish, for joining us with those details. Well, still ahead on headlines now. It's perhaps a last look at the grounds of the Palad village, soon to be only the sands of time.